What's good, y'all? Welcome to another video, and today we're talking about what I learned after purchasing a Tesla. Bring it in, let's talk about it. Alright, y'all, so I've owned my Tesla now for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks now. And there's things that I've learned now owning it that I didn't know necessarily before I purchased it. And don't get me wrong, I definitely did my research. I do still very much love the Tesla platform for what it offers, for what it's worth. I think it does exactly what it says it will do. But there's still some things that, like, if you're in the market, you really may want to know to really gauge your decision on purchasing the vehicle. So number one is the range, right? Now, you see range to kilowatt hours, you see that a lot. And if you're not doing the math, you won't necessarily know exactly what that means as far as how many miles will you get when you drive your Tesla. Now, of course, you got two different versions. For example, let's just talk about the Model 3. If you get an older Model 3 before the year of 21, they recommend charge your battery to 80% for daily use. And that'll keep the battery in good standings, and you'll be able to have that car for a while. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that. They say anything over 80% is due for long trips. But I've seen many people charge higher than 80%, preferably around 85 to 90%, based on how they drive, and they had no problems with their batteries going out, or any problems with their range decreasing over time, nothing of that nature, right? So you can still charge your car over the quote-unquote limit that they provide to you based on how you drive. Me personally, I charge my car to 90%. The reason I do this is because I drive a little more than the average person daily. So my trips are technically longer than what the average it is for 80%, right? But what I've learned for the range is, and this is a good note to keep if you're in the market for purchasing a Tesla, you're gonna average 3 miles per percent. So what does that mean? If I charge my car to 80%, after I do 3 miles, I'll probably be down to 79%. See what I'm saying? Now, of course, that's based on how you drive. It could go slower or it could go faster, depending on how you drive. But on average, that's kind of around what I've been averaging. And I'm not driving crazy. I'm not hitting it all the time, nothing like that. But that's usually what I average, right? Keep that in mind. Next, number two, what I've learned is free charging, right? So a lot of people talk about, oh yeah, you gotta wait for this and you gotta wait for that, and the supercharging is gonna screw your battery up, things of that nature. So for me, most of the time I charge my car, I charge on a level 2, which is not a level 3. A level 2 is the standard charge of what usually you want to charge your Tesla. Level 1 is literally you plug your car in the wall just like your cell phone. But that takes way too long. Like it's going to take a few days for you to get your charge up. Level 2, it'll take around 12 hours. And level 2 is usually if somebody owns a home and they charge it overnight, right? So that's usually the best way to charge your Tesla. Level 3 is supercharging, which is going to charge your car in around 20 minutes to 25 minutes. But that is usually more stress on the battery. And when you do go to superchargers, it's best to put that charging station into your maps where the car can drive you there, because it'll warm up the battery or preheat the battery so it'll charge even faster, so you can get faster times if you do that. If you just pull up to a supercharging station because you know where it is and you don't put it in your GPS, it'll take a little longer and you could damage the battery long term if you do that often, right? So that's something to know. And on top of that, this could be subjective to only me, but if you own a Tesla, get in the comment section below and let me know if this happens to you. But what I've learned so far based on my ownership is I tend to get a little more range on the level 2 charger than the level 3. Why? I don't know. If I charge my car on a level 3 supercharger, it just seems like the battery goes out a little quicker than if I were to charge it on a level 2. That could be subjective. That could be the days that I did that. I'm not sure. But as the time goes on and the times that I've used both, that's what I noticed. It might be different for you. And again, free charging, right? So there's an app, I believe it's called PlugShare, right? Where you can put that in on your phone and see in your area where there's actually free level 2 charging. So this is what I do. I check to see where the free charging is because I don't own a home, so I don't charge my car at the house. You know, I have an apartment, but there's chargers all around my apartment, but not like on where the actual apartments are. It's like right down the block, like less than a mile. But what I've learned is you can go on this app and find free charging wherever you may need to find it. And when you charge that, it's free of cost, so you really can't beat that. So how I utilize it is, let's say I'm driving around, I'm doing like minor stuff. Let's say it's like it's a slow day. I'm not really driving as much as I usually would. I could really replenish the amount of miles that I drove in that day just on a level 2 charger. And I might, you know, charge my car maybe an hour there, possibly, and I'll get all of the mileage back that I used for that day. So when I look at that, I really don't think you could beat that, because I put it like this in my mind. If somebody told you, and you drive a gas car, if somebody told you, yo, there's a few gas stations today that's giving you 3 gallons for free, all you got to do is find them. Like, you willing to go find them? Me personally, if somebody told me that for a gas car, I'm like, all right, well, where's that? Let me find it out. You know, it might be a line. Like, if somebody told you, it might be a line for you to wait, but still, there's going to be a free charging station or free gas station for you to get 3 gallons of gas. All you gotta do is find it. I'm gonna find it, because that's more range for wherever I need to go, and it's a benefit. That's how I look at it. So I think that's definitely a cool thing while owning a Tesla. You could just find a free charging station and you can get free charge. Next thing I learned is the control arm ball joints, right? So I purchased this vehicle, very low mileage, and what I've realized was my car would squeak a little bit after I purchased, like very soon or shortly after I purchased the vehicle, which is unfortunate, yeah, of course, because nobody wants to do that when you first purchase a vehicle. But what I've learned is most of the Teslas, I believe pre-2021, I don't even know if 2021 fixed the issue. Y'all might be able to check that and let me know. But what I've learned is these Teslas have an issue where when it rains, if you have a regular car, they have drains where it'll come outside and then kind of like leak out on the side of the door, right? Or the water that comes on the top of your car. For the Tesla, it kind of leaks slightly under the hood and it rolls over like the control arms where the ball joint is that attaches the tire. So over time, what happens is that ball joint gets dry for all of that times that water is just on it and it's drying out, and it, you know, diminishes the oil that's in that ball joint. And because of that, all that oil that usually lubricates those two parts becomes, well, it's gone essentially. So now it's metal on metal. And when it's metal on metal, it makes loud squeaky noises. Like, so if you're going over bumps, it's squeaking. If you turn your steering wheel, it's squeaking. So it's really annoying, I ain't gonna lie. But it's a super easy fix. At first, I priced it through Tesla, and usually Tesla tells you maximum what you'll pay, even though that might not be what you pay. So keep that in mind. It'll just give you the flat rate of like, yo, this is the most you can pay, but it could be cheaper. And the most I could pay for that issue was like $400 something. I'm like, well, I don't really feel like doing that. So what I did was I looked it up, and it's a super simple fix. You jack your car up, you get a needle, you get an oil pump gun, and you pump that ball joint with oil. I did that. That process took less than 15 minutes. And after I drove it a little more, probably around maybe 50 miles, the sound completely went away. The parts are lubricated again, no issue, the car is quiet. So that was really cool. But FYI, if you do need service on your Tesla and you actually have to go to a dealership, it is usually a longer wait. So that is also something to be aware of. But usually you don't have to go to a Tesla that often, so that's also something to be aware of, right? So that's number 4. And number 3 was the free charging. I just kind of mixed that with number 2, so don't mind me. Number 5 is, it's just convenient, y'all. Owning a Tesla is convenient. It's convenient because it's quick. So if you like fast cars, it's a very, very fast car. You know, merging in traffic, getting up to speed. It's quick. It handles very well. It can handle corners very well because the center of gravity, the battery's in the middle or under the car, and it's evenly distributed throughout the car. So it's not like, you know, a lot of body roll too much like that. It's like, it's really well planted. So, you know, that's cool. It puts the power down. No spinning of the tires, you know, if you get the all-wheel drive version. So it's great from that aspect. Like I mentioned before, you can replenish the miles that you drove in a day just on a regular charge and essentially just continue to recycle your range where you're not spending nothing, you know? So that's like unbeatable. You really can't beat that. You could watch videos and, you know, all types of stuff on your main screen. It shows you everything you need to know. If you want to take a long trip, it'll incorporate the chargers on the journey of your long trip, so you know when and where to stop. It'll show you how much range you'll have when you stop, and it'll show you for the next trip or the next charge station that you have to stop, what that'll look like. So it just puts everything out there in front of you, so you don't actually have to fear like, damn, what if I break down over here, or what if I don't have any range over here? It has all of that mapped out and calculated on your trip once you put the destination on your maps. So it's easy to figure that out. But one thing I will mention, and I've said this before I even owned a Tesla, and I knew this before I owned a Tesla, I still would not recommend only owning an electric vehicle, whether that's a Tesla, Polestar, you know, Kias, all of that, you know, because a lot of manufacturers make electric cars now. I would never only own an electric vehicle because you just never know. And if you want to take a long trip and let's say you don't want to stop, you want to have a gas car for that, depending on the range of that gas car, whether it's an economy car or just something that's even better on gas. With a gas car, you still have some of that certainty, like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. So some people might say that's defeating the purpose. I don't necessarily think that. I just look at that as more of a cushion to basically prepare you or prep you and have confidence where you be like, yo, what if something goes wrong? What if the battery does die? What if I can't drive somewhere? What if I'm on the side of the road? So again, for me, when I charge my car at a level 2 charge station, because I know it takes long, I don't have to worry about, damn, now I don't have a car for the day. I have another car that I could drive. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I would definitely recommend not only owning an electric car, but also having a gas car as well. And once you have that in line and you have that balance, you're never worried about range. You're never worried about issues and problems happening. You just have more of a peace of mind, and it just works better for you. So those are my 5 things that I've learned since owning a Tesla. Once again, I'm very happy on my purchase. It just saves money, you know. And a bonus tip, right? Something that I learned, and I believe I mentioned it probably in my last video, but you just save money on parts like brakes, because you don't really have to use them, because regenerative braking is so strong. You don't usually have to press your brakes. You know, of course, you're not paying for any moving parts, no fuel pumps, no fuel injectors, no water pumps, no timing belts, none of that stuff. You don't have to worry about any of that. The main thing that you have to worry about is tires and range, really, just charging your car up. And if you own a house, charging is going to be even cheaper. You see what I'm saying? So it's very, very basic stuff for you to maintain, and it's just convenient. So if y'all in the market for getting a Tesla or just an electric vehicle overall, I think it is a good idea. But I will say, of course, you want to have at least a second car just in case. That's a gas car, just in case. You never know what'll happen. But I think definitely if you're on the fence of getting one, I think you should definitely do it. I'm definitely happy with my purchase, and it's been good so far, and I hope to continue to keep it that way. And of course, you know, Tesla offers warranties and very long warranties, so I have a long warranty for at least 8 years, so I ain't mad at that. But yeah, that's what I learned. If you got a Tesla, get in the comment section below. Let me know y'all experience. If you're on the fence of getting a Tesla, also let me know. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll put y'all on, let y'all know what y'all need to know. But again, if y'all like this video, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. And just like that, I'm out of here. Peace.